Blessed be everyone. Happy New Year. It is me, your Wolfpack leader, as I have been known to be called in the past. It's time that you meet the person behind these postings here on YouTube. My name is Cynthia, and I wanted to document my story. Not all of it, but a good portion of it. How I came to be here on YouTube, how I came to fall into my life's purpose. It didn't happen by accident. In fact, I had a lot of ideas that I wanted to say on here, but I think I was overwhelming myself. Yes. So here I am, 54, oh my God, going on 55, not till July, thankfully. I was diagnosed with MS like 23, 24 years ago, I think. It's been a long time. And yes, that created some struggles. And reflecting back at my life and the life choices I made, I guess it kind of was inevitable, maybe. I don't know that this happened. But I'm beyond all of that woe is me and God knows whatever else. I mean, it is what it is. And it's a neurological autoimmune disease. And when I was diagnosed, I worked for our school district in Appleton, Wisconsin. And I had a job that, it was exactly what I needed. I was a Native American program director. It's a special division through the Office of Indian Education, and it's specifically a grant that I would apply for. Every year I had to apply for it, and it had enabled me to work for our school district, reaching specifically our Native American community, because there is a difference. Kids that go back and forth between the reservation into urban, they struggle academically more than any other one, I think. Just because when you don't have a rooting, and when I say rooting, I mean like the roots, it fucks a kid up, okay? But anyway, I learned in that position all about how people fuck you over. No, not really. Well, yeah, but it gave me really good experiences and introduced me to a lot of people. It enabled me to actually travel out of the state for, whatever. I went to education conferences, specifically once for Native Americans, the children, and then I later facilitated some speaking engagements with different school districts. So it was kind of a big thing over here. But this cold weather was just killing me. And when my kids got old enough, or they were older, I guess, I started doing a little bit more. But they got out of the house, and I wanted to be in Arizona so bad. And, for a couple different reasons. And I had established some friends over there, and specifically one gentleman, bless him, bless his soul, and of all places, the AOL chat room, right? Native American chat was the name of it. I gotta love those days. I love those days of AOL, hearing that ring, like, a noise, whatever, of the dial-up. But anyway, I'm digressing here. So I met him, and we stayed in contact, and one of our educational conferences, the National Indian Education Association, don't say that too fast, you're going to trip on your tongue, because God, I do. But that one year it was in Phoenix. And I'm like, hey, guess what? Guess who's coming to town? So that's how we met the first time, and it was Halloween. Another reason why I love Halloween. But it was a very magical time. It was Halloween time, and there was a full moon, and I remember I was looking out of my my suite, the window, and he walked up behind me and just kind of put his arm around me, and he said, "You see the moon?" I'm like, "How could you miss it?" I'm like, "Oh yeah," and that was our thing then. It was like the moon, so it's special to me. And plus, my name Cynthia means goddess of the moon, so let's just fucking, let's not forget that, right? But love has not been good to me at all. It hadn't been, I guess we'll say that. But all that stress kind of, of everything with that job gave me, it enabled this autoimmune disease to infiltrate my system. And those first couple of years were really hard, okay? But I felt so different. I mean, everybody out there that I had met, they told me, you need to move out here. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not going to do that until after my kids are out of the house, blah, blah, blah. Well, 1 year they were out of the house. And it's like the places that I lived, like the leases, they expired. So I had this apartment, and I thought, okay, here's some timing. I learned how to pay attention to synchronicities. So first, my contract at a job I was working, I was a temp, and I didn't want to have that permanent employment, because I had it in the back of my head. I'm gonna move out of here, and I'm gonna go to Arizona. So, my friend Nikki, known her since 7th grade. When she learned that I had MS, she's like, move out here, I'll help you get started. And that's exactly what happened. I took her up on that offer in 2016, September 2016. Yeah. And I moved to Phoenix, Arizona. And oh my God, the difference that my body felt. I felt lighter. I could do things. I actually had energy. What? I got all this energy? Hell yeah. So I mean, it was good. And I lived in Arizona for 7 years. And what's cool is I started at Nikki's house, and then I moved to Mesa a year later to go live with Mike. And that brought a whole lot of learning experiences. Oh yeah. Plus, keep in mind, I was like now in the middle of all of this awakening, I guess we'll say. I mean, I've known I'm intuitive. I've been talking to ghosts, spirits, whatever you want to call them, since I was a little kid. And they used to terrify me, but not so much anymore. Now it's like, hey, I see one hanging out in my apartment or whatever. I'm like, oh, hey, what you doing? That kind of thing. So it doesn't even surprise me anymore. And I look forward to it sometimes, especially when my mother crosses and visits me. So I had some jobs when I was in Arizona. my first one just, it was good. It introduced me to some people, and I definitely got an education there. But then they let me go, thanks to the sabotage of my training supervisor. May her karma serve her well. So then I went on unemployment, and I thought, all right, we got to do something. So I went and applied with a temp agency, again, a different one, and I worked for CVS. Yeah, that didn't work out. It was obvious that the MS was starting to really hit my cognitive abilities. I mean, I was struggling. I went into college when I was still worked for the school district. I had every intention of graduating with a bachelor's in social work. But you know what? This brain, I've never been able to do math. So when you have to do that stuff to get a college degree, it was a struggle. And I just dropped out. I did everything up until like algebra. I had to take elementary algebra because I never took that in school. Fuck no, what was I going to use it for? So I did the tutoring. I got as much help as I could. And because I had students who were math whizzes, I took advantage of that. I said, hey, you want to come into my office and help me out? So it was nice. But then it wasn't nice. So, so I have like a partial, no, I have nothing. Well, I just have knowledge that I learned. But anyway, I digress. So my cognitive abilities to remember the processes, and it seemed like I had this one trainer. Her name was Joanne, and I really liked her. We had really good talks, and she also was on the spiritual side. So we connected, and it was good. I lost that job. I got fired from that job because I just couldn't meet the performance minimums, I guess, or some shit like that. Okay, fine. So then I'm like, well, I gotta have money because I gotta be able to fucking live. And Arizona is not a cheap place. Not at all. Not at all. So I took a walk one day in Mesa, Arizona. Oh, yes, because I lived with Mike at that time. I moved in with him in October 2017. So, I lost my job and everything. And it's like, fuck, I got to make money. I got to do something. Fortunately, I could collect unemployment. Woo, yay. I'm glad I don't ever have to do that again. And I went walking in Mesa. I went down the main street. I went downtown and I parked. I thought, what the fuck, why not, right? And there was a massage school, ASIS. I went in there, I took a tour. And, they did all their talking, and, the vibe was great. And I just like, ooh, this is something. Just talking about it, even the hairs on my arms are raising up. It was a very important time in my life. And so I started school in 2018, February of 2018. And I knew, oh my God, what am I doing? But all of this came so natural to me. I shit you not. You learn about all the different types of massage and the techniques and all those kinds of things, all right? And I remember when we would go through the different modalities, the different styles or whatever, I was like, I've done this before. I just knew what to do without even being told. I still paid attention in class, and I still did this stuff because you gotta. But as I did it more, I was like, I've done this before. So we had to do another past life regression, or at least get a reading. And, you know, it's like, I've been a healer in every life. I've been extremely intuitive in every life. And so now in this one, it all comes together. So I went to massage school. I mastered that shit. They call me Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is my idol, by the way. I mean, that's my inspirational figure. And so I was like, all right. So I'm doing the thing. And I learned where my strengths were. And I had it in my head from day one. I was not going to work for like Massage Envy, Hand and Stone, or, you know, whatever other, I call them the chain massage therapy spas, but I knew I wasn't going to do that. I knew I wanted to have my own practice, which I did. And with that practice, I met the most wonderful people. And it was really good. I love doing what I do. As a matter of fact, I felt depressed when I couldn't give a massage because maybe my hands weren't cooperating, or maybe I was having some struggles with MS. But I told my clients that. I told them, this is what I have, and this is how I operate. So if there's a day that I can't, I'll let you know. But I learned a lot, and I'm grateful for that. But then, you know, I filed for disability, hired an attorney, and in that time I closed my practice. It was time for me to get a business license, and they changed all their shit, and it was going to cost a lot of money. And it's like, okay, universe is giving you a sign here. You've done the work. You have done what you're supposed to do for right now. I obtained my Reiki master, my massage therapy license, sound healing, and I got my certification as a tarot reader. You know, I mean, I just did all those kinds of things, so it worked in my favor. And even when we had the pandemic, and I wasn't, nobody was able to work, but I was able to, get that unemployment money, which worked to my benefit as well. So, I mean, I've gone through it, I've done it, and now is my time to teach. It's my time to help other people who are emerging to become all that they can become. My friend Jennifer, she calls me her muse because I inspired her to have her own massage business. And I don't know, I just never looked at myself that way until she started bringing up the things. So I'm thankful for those people in my life who point things out to me when I forget. But I plan to now in the new year, I want to record more readings. I want to do more sound healing videos and more sharing of my story, which I will continue to do. So today was the intro, and whenever I feel inspired to come on here and tell portions of my story, that's when I'm going to do it. Not like, I'm not going to tell you, oh, I'll see you next week, Monday, or no. I follow my intuition. I follow my gut feeling. And if it doesn't feel right, I'm not going to do it. Okay? But today felt right. And I wanted to kick off our new year in a positive way. So I did my yoga. I'm listening to my spa music to keep my central nervous system regulated and calm. I'm going to eat. I'm starting a new weight loss journey. Actually, I'm re-kicking it up. I have got to get out of this pre-diabetic phase, so I am going to do that. And I would like you all to hold me accountable if able. Ask me, did you do your yoga? Did you get your walking in? Have you done your Pilates? I mean, things like that. So that's my focus, that's my goal, and that's my focused energy direction right there. So thank you so much for taking the time to get to know me, the real me, well, a part of the real me. But I'll be back. So you're going to have to stay tuned. I suggest if you want to hear more of my story, and believe me, I have got some stories to tell that you're going to be like, how in the fuck did she live through that? So if you're interested, which I know you are, and you want to hear more, just subscribe. You don't have to pay for anything. In fact, I don't want you to pay for anything. Just subscribe, okay? And I'll talk to you later. Not today later, but a different day later. And you all have a blessed new year. And just grab that energy and run with it. All right. Bye-bye.